episode 14 of Warning Track Power, the podcast. Today, I have prepared my 2026 MLB standings predictions that I will be sharing with you. And I'm going to try not to be the biggest of stat guys, but that's not going to happen. This is probably going to be a long episode. Um, I have a couple of hot takes in here. Interested to know what you guys think about it. Let me know down in the comment section. And I will put timestamps on the screen right now showing you where to go for what division if you want to skip past some. So here are the timestamps right now. And let's get it started with the American League East. So in the bottom of this division, I have the Tampa Bay Rays at 77 and 85. I really don't think this team has a lot to bring to the table. I mean, they do have stars like Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero and Jonathan Aranda, who can be a very sneaky ad. But the rest of this lineup is kind of scarce. This pitching staff shows a lot of injury risk with McClanahan and Rasmussen. Some good young potential with Ryan Pepio, and then some veteran leadership with Steven Matz and Nick Martinez. I do, however, think that this team is going to be reliant on whether their pitching staff can stay healthy to win the majority of their games. And really, this back end of the bullpen with Edwin Uceta and Griffin Jacks is good, but the rest of it does kind of stink, in my opinion. And that is why I've picked the Tampa Bay Rays last in the division. Moving up one, the Baltimore Orioles at 2 more wins, 79 and 83. I like the moves they've made this offseason for Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso. They still have Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, who is due for a bounce back. Do I think it happens this season? Not really, but it would be good to see him turn it around. And then Samuel Basayo and Kobe Mayo, they got some potential. Getting consistent playing time is going to be big for them this year. I don't think Trevor Rogers in the starting rotation has the same year he did last year. Fangraphs does not either, projecting him at a 4.08 ERA. Kyle Bradish, can he stay healthy? That's the big kicker with him. Chris Bassett is going to workhorse for you. I don't think a 4.18 ERA for him is fair, as projected by Fangraphs. Shane Baz, Zach Eflin, Dean Kramer, can they stay healthy? Ryan Helsley is the closer. He's a very good closer for the game of baseball, but is he going to be 2024 Ryan Helsley or 2025 Ryan Helsley? And that is going to be the biggest thing with him regarding to be the closer role. Do we have the better version of him or the worst version of him? Moving up to the New York Yankees in third place at 86 and 76. This team has remained relatively the same, while the rest of the league in the AL East, has only gotten better. I mean, their real only additions this offseason were re-signing Bellinger, re-signing Paul Goldschmidt, and trading for Ryan Weathers. I mean, this bullpen is questionable. David Bednar is not the closer that I would be rolling in with opening day with. Camilo Doval is shaky. Fernando Cruz can be good. I'm not really sure how exactly he will be. But this starting rotation, you start off with Max Fried. You're going to have Garrett Cole back eventually. Carlos Rodon is going to miss the entire year through injury, but then you have Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, Luis Heel, and Ryan Weathers. And all of those guys, except Max Fried, are projected at over 4 ERAs. And I really think the pitching staff is what's going to bring these Yankees team back down a little bit from last year's 94 win total. The Boston Red Sox are next at 90 and 72, where I think the additions of Wilson Contreras to play first base fill that little gap that was left by Tristan Casas. I think Roman Anthony and Cedar Rafaela, Marcelo Meyer are going to have some big years. We might see Campbell up at some point this year, though I highly doubt it, with the Caleb Durbin edition, which I do really like. Willie Abreu is going to produce. So is Jarren Duran. So is Trevor Story if he stays healthy. Garrett Crochet is a Cy Young candidate. Ranger Suarez, if he hits his spots, he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the game. I'm interested to see how he and Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach, work together. Sonny Gray, I think, is a great ad. He struck out 200 batters last year. I think that'll be great. Bayo, I think he's not going to have the same year he had last year, but I don't think a 4.22 ERA, which is what Fangraphs has him projected at, is fair. And Johan Oviedo, it's a good ad. And Aroldis Chapman is the closer. Garrett Whitlock is the eighth inning guy. This is a good team that I think a lot of people are sleeping on this season. And now winning the division, that means I have the Toronto Blue Jays. I think that George Springer won't have the same year that he had last year, but Guerrero Jr. is going to be good. Dalton Varsho is an underrated center fielder. Alejandro Kirk's an underrated catcher. Kazuma Okamoto is probably going to be pretty good this year. I think this pitching staff is the big highlight, though. The starting rotation of Gausman, Cease, Yasavage, Barrios, and Ponce is going to be lethal this year. And even though you have Shane Bieber on the IL, that is what it is. Jeff Hoffman as the closer is kind of scary, but I like the bullpen additions they made with Chase Lee and Tyler Rogers to go alongside Louis Varland and Brandon Little. And really, all in all, this Blue Jays team, I think, is a division winner. Next up, the AL Central, and this division is not going to take as much time as the AL East did. I think finishing last in this division is the Chicago White Sox. I mean, this team is going places, but I don't even think I need to do a deep dive. I mean, yes, Sean Newcomb and Sir Anthony Dominguez, good adds to the bullpen. This starting rotation sucks. I mean, Shane Smith is your ace. Eric Fetty is your five starter, and everybody in between. It's not a very good rotation. This lineup has some good potential. Kyle Teal, Colson Montgomery, Munetaka Murakami, good potential along with veteran leadership from Austin Hayes. I still don't think this is going to be a very production-based team. They're going to stink this year. 74-88 is the record that I have them at. And right above them at one game is the Minnesota Twins at 75-87. This team had a flash sale at the trade deadline last year. And with Pablo Lopez missing the whole year now, Taylor Rogers as their closer, I just know. This rotation's actually not bad with Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober, but then after that, Taj Bradley, Zebby Matthews, and Simon Woods Richardson. Three guys, who have not proven themselves at the big league level. Byron Buxton, I really hope for his sake that he gets traded as well, just like all the other guys that the Twins got rid of. Same thing with Ryan Jeffers and Royce Lewis. But all in all, this team's good in some places and really, really bad in others. So now for the third place team, I'm going with the Kansas City Royals at 83-79. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is an MVP candidate this year. Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, who's going to provide some very good veteran leadership. Pasquantino's good. Michael Garcia had a breakout year last year. I think he only continues that. Jack Caglione is good. Young guy that they have. Carter Jensen, Isaac Collins, those also good young guys. Jonathan India and veteran leadership. There, Cole Reagan's due for a bounce-back year. Michael Wacha, Chris Bubich, Seth Lugo, and Noah Cameron rounds out a very good rotation. And when you have Carlos Estevez and Lucas Urseg splitting closer duties and Matt Strahm as one of your setup guys, that's a pretty lethal back end of the rotation. And I would not be surprised if this team sneaks their way into the playoffs. I don't have them there, but don't be surprised if you end up seeing them there. Moving up to second place in the AL Central, I have the Guardians at 88-74. I mean, they got Stephen Kwan and J-Ram, right? Kyle Manzardo's got some potential. Chase DeLauder, same thing. Bo Naylor, I like his game a little bit. But really, this team, once again, every year, they find a way into the playoffs, they find a way to win games, and then every year in the offseason, they don't do anything. And it's got to be very frustrating to be a Guardians fan. However, Gavin Williams, he's on my fantasy team this year, so I hope he plays well, and I think he's going to play very well. Same thing with Tanner Bybee. Rest of this rotation's kind of shaky. Cade Smith is a good closer. Hunter Gaddis and Sean Armstrong is a good back end of the bullpen. I mean, it does suck that you have Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase busted for gambling and rigging pitches on the games because their brains are pea-sized, but it is what it is. I think this Guardians team is good. I think they get in the playoffs as a wild card team and once again fail to do anything next offseason. So that leaves at 91 and 71 the Detroit Tigers. They have the best pitcher on the planet, Tarek Skubal, on their team. They signed Framber Valdez to a 3-year deal this offseason. They brought back Justin Verlander, which is really, really cool. They do have Casey Mize, who's got some good potential. I don't think he's really hit his breakout yet. And Jack Flaherty is, well, Jack Flaherty, so he's consistent. Kenley Jansen closing games down here. Kyle Finnegan and Will Vest, good setup guys. And then you go down this bullpen, this lineup. Torkelson, good one year, bad the next year, good the next year. So he's weird. Kerry Carpenter, great. Gleyber Torres, great. Riley Green's going to strike out 200 times but hit you 30 bombs, so you're probably pretty happy with that. So I'll transition over to the AL West now. In last place, the Los Angeles Angels. I am very sorry for you Angels fans. I mean, this lineup is just unbelievably bare bones. Same thing with the bench. Yusei Kikuchi is going to be good at the head of the rotation. Jose Soriano, yay. Grayson Rodriguez is good if he stays healthy. Bullpen's kind of shaky, but Robert Stevenson, Drew Pomeranz, and Kirby Yates, and Jordan Romano, they're kind of just a bunch of guys that got to prove themselves. They have Ben Joyce on the injured list to start the year. I don't think this team is going anywhere. Last place, 75 and 87. Moving on to the Athletics. Now, this is a team that I see some potential in, but I still have them at 82 and 80 in fourth place. I mean, first name Nick, last name Kurtz. First baseman, crazy power, and Rookie of the Year winner last year, Shea Langoliers. Brent Rooker, I'm still very high on. Jacob Wilson, very high on him as well. I mean, Luis Severino at the head of the rotation with Jeffrey Springs and Aaron Savale as the 1, 2, 3. It's fine by all means, but it's like nothing special, and this bullpen's just terrible with Mark Leiter Jr. This is a very bad bullpen, and that's why I think they're the fourth place team. The Texas Rangers is my pick for third place at 86 and 76. I mean, they acquired Brandon Nimmo in the trade where they got rid of Marcus Semien. Corey Seager is very good. Wyatt Langford, young stud. Jock Peterson will hopefully have a turnaround year for them. Evan Carter, young stud as well. And really, I don't see a lot of, super poppy players outside of Wyatt Langford and Corey Seager, but I don't see anybody who's going to be an eyesore in the lineup. Pitching staff, Jacob deGrom, healthy deGrom, very good pitcher. I loved the Mackenzie Gore addition. I mean, he struck out 200 batters last year, and now with potential run support, he's going to have the wins and losses to back that up. Nathan Eovaldi in that rotation as well, and Jack Leiter. Not giving up on Jack Leiter just yet. However, Robert Garcia as the closer is something that scares me. This bullpen's not good. Now, moving on, I got the Houston Astros finishing second, the Houston Astros at 88 and 74. Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Christian Walker make up the first 5 in this order, and you can hit Yainer Diaz 7th is a crazy lineup that has a lot of potential. I think Tetsuya Imai is going to be a pretty good pitcher in the league this year. Hunter Brown is a Cy Young candidate. The rest of this rotation is kind of eh. The bullpen, though, there is a clear A bullpen and there's a clear B bullpen. The A bullpen highlighted by Josh Hader and Brian Abreu, and then everybody else is kind of everybody else in this bullpen. So that leaves the Seattle Mariners as my pick at 93-79 for the division win. Brendan Donovan, great ad. Cal Rowley's not going to hit 60 home runs again, and you're probably very happy if he hits 30. Julio Rodriguez can maybe learn to hit in the first half this time. Josh Naylor, like that they brought him back. I mean, really the only thing that this team is missing is that third baseman, which they got in, which Fangraphs has is Brendan Donovan, and they're going to put Cole Young at second base. They also have Colt Emerson down in the farm, but they also have the best pitching staff in the American League, I think, with Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, who I nicknamed Mr. Depresso, just look at him, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, and Bryce Miller make up a very good starting rotation that is all homegrown except for Luis Castillo. And Andres Munoz, reliever of the year candidate. Matt Brash, great reliever. And then Gabe Spire, prominent lefty. And I really don't see a lot of flaws in this team. And, they were very close to going to the World Series last year. And who knows what would have happened if it was Mariners versus Dodgers in the World Series. Moving on, it's NL East time. In last place, the Washington Nationals at 73-89. This team is highlighted by James Wood, who once again is going to strike out 200 times and hit 20 bombs. Dylan Cruz, young potential. CJ Abrams, young potential. But other than that, this team is just a bunch of guys who you can argue have potential. And then a bunch of guys who are just trying to prove themselves and get bigger contracts. Bullpen's bad. Starting rotation is terrible with your ace being Miles Michaelis. This team sucks. I'm sorry to say it. This team sucks. And not much better than them, who I have at 77-85, the Miami Marlins. Peter Mendick is cooking. Don't get me wrong. Kyle Stowers, Griffin Conine, Jacob Marcy, Otto Lopez, they have pieces. Xavier Edwards, they have pieces. They just need to spend a little bit of money, and this team could find themselves back in the playoffs. Sandy Alcantara, Yuri Perez headline the rotation. Pete Fairbanks closing down games. This team is not very good, but it's playable. In third place, I have the Atlanta Braves taking a massive step forward. I think Ronald Acuna is going to have a nice, healthy year where he's going to be an MVP candidate. Drake Baldwin, Rookie of the Year last year in the NL. He's very good. Matt Olson, Austin Riley, a bounce-back year from him. Same thing with Michael Harris II. And really, I don't think Mauricio Dubon is exactly the Dansby Swanson replacement that they were looking for, but at least he's better than Nick Allen, so nice. Chris Sale is going into his age 36 season. Spencer Strider, I'm slowly losing faith in him. If he can get the velo back, probably not. Ronaldo Lopez, if he can throw 150 innings, he's going to be very valuable for your team. Raisel Iglesias and Robert Suarez in the back of the bullpen is rather good. To be honest, I don't think 87-75 is too much of a reach here. Now the New York Mets at 93-69, getting second in the division. I do think that this Mets team is good. I do think that their offseason was somewhat good. I came around to like it a little more. I just don't think they're better than the Phillies, who we'll talk about later. I mean, obviously, Juan Soto, your $800 million man, Bo Bichette, Francisco Lindor. You're going to have Jorge Polanco playing first base and Marcus Semien. You traded for Luis Robert. You're doing things to try and make your team better. Freddie Peralta is your ace. I mean, it's only for one season because it's a rental, but that helps out a rotation that needs it. They also have Nola McLean, very promising. And they stole two Yankees relievers from last year with Devin Williams and Luke Weaver to have in the back of their bullpen. All in all, I kind of like this Mets team. I like their chances to make the playoffs. But I think that the Philadelphia Phillies team is the division winner at 96 and 66. I mean, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper is just insanity. They dropped Nick Castellanos and replaced him with Adolis Garcia. He's got, in the words of my dad, guns that should probably be illegal in that city. JT Realmuto is one of the best catchers in baseball still. Bryson Stott looking for a bounce back year. Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, two very, very good lefties at the start of the rotation. Aaron Nola, once again, he's a good starter. And Johan Duran, also going to be the closer. They also have Brad Keller and Orion Kerkering, who might as well be pitching for the Dodgers after his NLCS little in whatever you call that throw. That was terrible. Zach Wheeler is projected to be out until September, which does suck for the Phillies. But their rotation is still very, very good. And I'm excited to see how this team plays. I think they win the NL East. Here we go with the NL Central. And this one is where the controversialness starts to come in. What isn't controversial is the Cardinals coming in 5th place at 76 and 86. I think that is incontrovertible that they finished last. Their entire team, their entire starting lineup is homegrown. Every single one of them. I think J.J. Weatherholt's got promise. I think this lineup is not going to be good. The starting rotation is Matthew Liberatore, Dustin May, Andre Pallante, Michael McGreevy, and Kyle Leahy. That rotation is very bad. The bullpen, also very bad, with a bunch of no-names and Ryan Stanek and Matt Swanson and JoJo Romero. Must I say more? I don't think so. Coming in 4th place at 80 and 82, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. I like their additions of Brandon Lowe, Ryan O'Hearn, and Marcell Ozuna. O'Neal Cruz is very good. Brian Reynolds is very good. Spencer Horwitz still got to prove himself, I think. But the back of this lineup, 7, 8, 9, is rough. The bench is rough. I mean, Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in the National League. And then you go after that, it's Mitch Keller, Braxton Hatchcraft, Bubba Chandler, and Jose Urquidy, which is kind of sucky. And you have Gregory Soto as your setup man, Dennis Santana as your closer. That's kind of questionable, but end of the day, they are going to be a better team than last year. Moving up, I have the Milwaukee Brewers finishing 3rd place at 85 and 77. It makes no sense. They make the playoffs. They won the most games in the National League last year at 97, and then they ship off their best pitcher to the Mets. They got rid of Freddie Peralta to him, so now they're stuck with Brandon Woodruff as their ace, Jacob Mizorowski, Quinn Priester, and then 2 no-names at the back of the rotation. Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill going to be splitting closing time. The bullpen's actually not too bad, to be honest. And nor is the lineup. Chorio and Turang and William Contreras. Christian Yelich provides good veteran leadership. They picked up Luis Rengifo. I mean, this isn't a bad team by any means. It's just not the Brewers team we saw last year. I think a lot of people aren't going to have the same kind of connotation. Now, I did have a debate with my chemistry teacher about this, and he says the Cubs are going to win the division this year, but I think they're in second at 90 and 72, and I'll talk more about that later. I mean, Alex Bregman, I don't like the ballpark factor change for him. I believe I talked about that in episode 1 of the podcast. Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, PCA, Nico Horner. This is a very good lineup. The pitching staff is a little rough. Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera, Cade Horton, Shota Imanaga, and Jameson Tyone. I like that. This bullpen, though, Daniel Palencia as your closer. I don't know how much I like that. Same thing with Phil Maton, Hunter Harvey. Like, it's not bad. There's nothing here that's bad, per se. I just think a lot of people, including my chemistry teacher, think that the Cubs are the only team in the NL Central this year. They're forgetting about the Reds. I can't believe this. Elly De La Cruz, he's got to stop switch hitting. He can't hit against left-handed pitchers. Every year of his career, he's gotten better hitting against left-handed pitchers. They picked up Eugenio Suarez. They're bringing him back to Cincinnati, and he can go crazy in this hitter-friendly park. Going back to De La Cruz, I mean, he's an MVP candidate if he learns how to hit lefties better, which he has every single season of his career. I think people are sleeping on this rotation. They have one of the Cincinnati Reds have one of the best young rotations in the sport. Hunter Green with his blazing fastball and nice splitter. Andrew Abbott was an all-star last year, put together a very solid year. Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, who was hurt last year, but this year he's going to be back. And Chase Burns, he throws gas. It's going to be fun to watch. The only issue that I see with this bullpen, which is why I have the Reds at 92-70, is the fact that Emilio Pagan is going to be their closer. But they did pick up Brock Burke, Pierce Johnson, and Graham Ashcraft. I mean, I cannot say that I hate this Reds team. Can't say that I do it. And that was the hot take of the video, I think. So feel free to debate me in the comments, but that does not matter for right now, as we're moving on to the NL West to end this very, very long episode. If you're still here, please drop a like on the video. Helps out a ton. In last place, no-brainer here, Colorado Rockies, 71-91. Now, don't get me wrong. Hunter Goodman, sneaky good catcher. If you got him on your fantasy team, that's great for you. I don't. Ezekiel Tovar, he's got potential. Brenton Doyle got potential. They have veteran leadership with Willie Castro. They made some small pickups. I mean, Tomoyuki Sugano, Jose Quintana, Michael Lorenzen, and Kyle Freeland bring some veteran leadership to the starting rotation. That also includes Chase Dollander. Once again, though, 162 games, and 81 of them are going to be played in a stadium that might as well be on the moon with how many balls fly out of that park. The bullpen, I mean, Jimmy Herget and Victor Vodnik, they're not bad. Seth Halverson throws really hard. Brendan Bernardino is on this team, and I'm very happy he's not on the Red Sox anymore because he can't really throw a strike. Antonio Senzatella was one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball last year. And to be honest, this Rockies team sucks. I'm not going to put it any other way. In fourth place in the division at 83-79, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Geraldo Perdomo and Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte is on my fantasy team, so he better play good. Corbin Carroll, good. I like the Nolan Arenado addition. Once again, this lineup's just kind of meh. This pitching staff in Arizona, it doesn't matter how good the pitching staff is. It's Arizona. This is where pitchers outside of Colorado go to die. There's so much space in the gaps. So Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, you saw their ERAs go up and then last year, and it's bad. And this bullpen is just hot garbage. I mean, Paul Sewald and Kevin Ginkel are your splitting time closers. That's terrible. Now in third place, this is kind of an interesting take. I'm going to say a lukewarm take here. I have the Padres at 88-74. I mean, Bogart's veteran leadership to Jackson Merrill, who can't hit lefties to save his life, so somehow there got to be a platoon here. Maybe that's with Nick Castellanos. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., the core of this team. I like that Sung Moon Sung edition purchased from the KBO. I mean, this rotation, Michael King is one of the most underrated starters in the business. I think he was also in the Juan Soto trade going from the Padres to the Yankees. Nick Pivetta, he was good last year. Don't think he's going to be as good next year. Joe Musgrove, if he throws a pitch, is going to be pretty good. And then this bullpen's gross. I mean, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adam is your seventh inning guy. Adrian Moreau's your eighth inning guy. And Mason Miller's your closer. And you have Yuki Matsui in there as well. That is a very, very good bullpen. I just think that the other two teams are better. Now in second place, improving by 9 games from last year, the Giants at 90-72. They have probably the best infield in the game of baseball. Rafael Devers, Luis Ariz, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman. They're going to have Bryce Eldridge DHing, Patrick Bailey calling behind the plate. Heliot Ramos, Jung Hoo Lee, and Harrison Bader make up an outfield which has been the Giants' issue for seasons and seasons and seasons. Their rotation with Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, two good guys at the start. Tyler Mahle, Adrian Hauser, and Landon Roop. I mean, I'm not going to say Roop doesn't have potential, but he's got some work to do. And Mahle and Hauser provide very good veteran leadership alongside with Robbie Ray. Closer is projected to be Ryan Walker. This bullpen didn't really change from last year. I mean, they have Jose Butto, who's pretty good. All in all, I think this is a second-place team. That offense is very good, and it's going to probably carry them all the way to the playoffs. And yes, they're going for a three-peat. They're gunning for it. I mean, the Dodgers, first place, 103-59. This is insanity how this team just keeps every year rolling out a lineup that is filled with superstars. Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pies, Hyesung Kim. And they have prospects too to ship off, and they can get any. This is one of the best run organizations in the game of baseball. I don't care what anybody else has to say. They're rocking a rotation of Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, Sheehan, and Roki Sasaki due to the fact that Blake Snell is going to be out for the season, apparently. And even though they're Bruce Gratterall, Evan Phillips, and Brock Stewart are all injured, this bullpen still features Edwin Diaz as the closer, Tanner Scott, Alex Vesia, Blake Trinan, Justin Robletsky, Ben Kasparius, Will Klein from World Series Game 3, the hero. What is this team, and how is it legal? This team's unbelievably good. This team is unbelievably good. And, I mean, their payroll for 2026 is $395 million, which is $1 million less than their 2025 payroll, which was $396 million. And they signed Kyle Tucker for $60 million a year. Are you out of your mind? Wow. So, there you have it. My complete 2026 MLB standings, predictions. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. This was a long episode. Because here on Warning Track Power, we are just a few feet short of the fences, but all in on the game. See you next time.